Hey, happy Thursday morning here on December 19th. I'm Marshall Shore.
And I'm Melissa Farley. Thanks for joining us on the morning show here at the Arizona Center.
It's the beautiful Arizona.
The beautiful Arizona. The luxurious, the classy. I know. No.
Yes, all of those.
It's our first week still. We're going.
I know.
We're moving and grooving.
We are indeed figuring out what's going on. You might notice a few different things on the set.
We've got our teddy bear friend here that was gifted to us earlier this week. Yeah, so he's officially the new studio mascot, I think. I still want a miniature pony to be our, mascot.
My pretty pony?
Okay. I meant a real one that's going to trot around, but no.
Who's going to clean up after this?
River.
Oh, yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. We're all going to wind up wearing stilts.
That would be kind of fun, actually, wouldn't it?
Tall.
Did you try the stilt walking at the Grand Avenue Festival? Did you see that you could try that?
I can barely stand.
I know. That was my concern as well.
Falling over. So, yeah, the idea of me on stilts, not a good one.
But they had the circus school there.
Right.
And they were letting people try, stilt walking and, like the not super tall ones, but just ones that were kind of that big.
I get you up 6 feet in the air.
Yeah.
You just, boom. Sign the waiver first.
Right. Yes. We are not responsible for chipped teeth or concussions.
Or any broken bones, ribs, whatever.
Whatever. Well, it is Thursday, Thirsty Thursday. You're doing your happy hour.
Yeah, so I have happy hour tonight, and so we are talking about when Keith Haring was here in 1986, because the Art Museum just opened an exhibit up about stuff they found in the archives from when he was here, painting this mural with about 20 plus students from South Mountain High School.
Okay.
And so I'm having a redo of Such Styles, who actually befriended Keith when he was here.
Yep. Okay.
So so kind of talking a little bit about that and some just arts in the valley.
Very cool.
So and I'm excited to go see this show at the Art Museum. I haven't seen it yet.
I haven't seen it either. That's awesome. I don't really know what I'm doing tonight, but tomorrow I'm going to the production of the Queer Christmas Carol. That's tomorrow night.
I need to look at my calendar to see when I'm going. So
you should be going tomorrow. I would love for you to come tomorrow.
Well, I have to take a look because I know I've got friends going different dates. And so I also just want to go and volunteer as an usher and just kind of help people find their seat.
Could see it 17 different times.
I could.
I mean, what are you really doing with your life, Marshall, that you can't? It's not like you're busy at all.
Yeah, I'm doing nothing on the holiday season.
I know.
So,
I know you're not.
Just like you. Yeah.
We launched a show at the worst time. Can we just say that? We were we're going to come back 2 weeks before Christmas.
Indeed. But we're doing it.
We're doing it.
And that's the thing. We're making it work. And so it gives us all of this stuff to talk about.
Yes.
So, because, it's when we talk Arizona history. So it was funny because I was looking at all the stuff going on, and back in 1939, Scottsdale High did a production called The First Christmas. It was written by one of the teachers with all the school acting in it.
That's cool.
And I just thought that was kind of cool. So people think, the holiday stuff is just kind of happening now, but it's been going on for quite some time.
Did you ever see the best Christmas pageant ever? Theater Works used to do it every single year. I don't know if they still do, but that was family, not even family. It was just I went every single year. The best Christmas pageant ever. You never saw that?
I did not.
Wow. Yeah, that was growing up, the thing you did every Christmas. That reminds me. What are your holiday traditions? What do you do every Christmas?
One of the things I love to do is Christmas lights.
You do Christmas lights?
Well, it's before the pandemic, actually filled a bus full of folks and went drive around looking at Christmas lights.
Oh, fun. Yeah.
So we'd sing Christmas carols and talk about Christmas history.
That's cool.
Okay, so are you a Christmas Eve or a Christmas Day person?
I am a Christmas Day person, but my husband's family is a Christmas Eve person. They have...
Yeah, we have a split household as well.
Yeah, they have traditions that they do every Christmas Eve. We go over to their house. We go to church. They do a candlelight ceremony with music, which is actually really lovely. And then we go look at Christmas lights. There's like a neighborhood that the entire neighborhood decks out. And then we come home and we have fondue, cheese fondue. That's our Christmas Eve meal. And then we make glühwein and roasted chestnuts and sit out on the patio and stay up till midnight. So, well, sometimes I fall asleep before midnight. But, yeah.
Or take a power nap before so that way you can stay up till midnight.
No napping in the Shanahan household. Not allowed.
It's like, so growing up, it was like, we did the big family thing. And so everyone would go in, that's when you would open up all the gifts, was Christmas Eve.
Oh, okay.
And then Santa would come later that night.
Cool.
And give you a gift. And then you would put out your shoes, but we call them socks.
Yeah.
And that's where you would get like 45s, an orange, a
Yeah.
little game. So it was like, that's when you got like the stuff that Santa would bring.
That's cool.
So, yeah.
I love on Christmas like the stockings are always themed. Like it's really fun. Like one year I got it was all cactus themed because I was really into cactus. And then one year it was like a book themed stocking. My husband usually gets German themed stuff because he just likes the weird I'm not even Leberkuchen and
like sauerkraut. So it's like a sock full of sauerkraut.
Waffles, yeah, like all the weird. But I mean, so that's usually his stocking. But yeah, it's fun. And then it's just a good time. I'm looking forward to Christmas this year.
So one of my favorite gifts was I got a 45 in my sock of Delta Dawn by Helen Reddy. And so later on I found out the story. So my Aunt Diane, her husband Zeke, was a truck driver for the mob. And so he drove a truck full of counterfeit records. And so that's what everyone got from him.
What a great story.
I was like, oh my gosh, so it's not even an official Helen Reddy 45, but it's a bootleg 45.
You know what I saw the other day that I really want to do? I don't know if anybody in my family would be up for this, which is why I feel like I should just do like a misfit Christmas party. I don't know if you saw this, but like people give each other wigs. Like everybody exchanges wigs and then...
Oh, it's like a little wig stock.
And you have to put them on and take pictures around the Christmas tree, and it's just like, it looked like so much fun. I feel like that would be so random and cute, but...
And there's all kinds of wigs out there.
There are all kinds of wigs out there. Oh, yeah.
Indeed.
Well, we do have a guest that is waiting to chat with you and us today.
Oh, that's right. Oh, we do.
We do.
Ah.
It's not just us. It's not just about you, Marshall. I know. So we're going to take a very short break, and we'll be right back after this with our very first guest for you today. We think you're going to love her.
And good morning, and welcome back to the morning show. I'm Marshall Shore.
And I'm Melissa Farley. Thanks for joining us at the Arizona Center. And as promised, we have a guest here in studio with us.
We do indeed.
We do. She's right here next to me. This is this is Kimberly. And Kimberly, you are the country's first certified metaphysical real estate agent. What does that mean? Tell me more about that.
Yes. See, your foundation is much more than just a transaction. This is where you feed your children. This is where you pray over your spouse. This is where you create and change the trajectory of your life. And the reason I got into real estate is exactly because of that. I needed to change the trajectory of myself and my family's life. And it emerged into this beautiful way that I do real estate.
So when people decide to work with you over a different like a regular quote unquote real estate agent, what is that experience like? How is it different than working with someone who has a metaphysical background versus someone who doesn't?
I help families and individuals who have been through hardships start a new chapter. You see, a little over 13 years ago, my 13-year-old son on a random Tuesday morning walked upstairs and shot himself, dying in my arms before the ambulance could arrive, and the following aftermath almost completely destroyed our family unit. And 2 years later, I'm sitting there in the shitty rental, sorry if that's an offensive word, drinking that same glass of wine, the fourth, fifth one. And I decided to take assessment, and I looked at my twins who were happy and thriving. I looked at my older boy who was doing better than me, making it, but it was when I looked at my husband, who was looking at me like I was going to break. I knew I had to change the trajectory of my family's life, and I needed to get into a home. And I was able to get an extenuating circumstance pre-approval, but I couldn't find an agent to help me. I couldn't find an agent to help me because it had never been done. An extenuating circumstance loan with a bankruptcy and a short sale had never been done in the state of Arizona, so I took our change jar and our tax return money, and I got through real estate school in 18 days, and 45 days later, I closed on that home.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But giving the keys to my husband, giving him his feet again, made me realize that I have to do this for other people. It began that healing journey, and I began getting my certifications in metaphysics, spiritual psychology, getting answers to the soul. And since that time, I have helped over 400 families and given back over $400,000 of my own commission to help them do that. That's the difference. Because I know what it feels like, and I know how to pull you out of that dark place and start a new trajectory.
That's huge.
Well, and I think, and also there's an element of bringing something like this, which is so vital to a family, in such a dark time. Even talking about it can be perceived as almost shameful.
Yes.
So just the fact that they can have that conversation and know that you're not going to look at them in a different light.
Correct.
That with a completely different understanding of what they're going through.
Correct.
And how they can tell their story in a new place, a better story.
Yes, because humanity's greatest philanthropic movements have been brought from her deepest sorrows. And how do we become the testimony? We become the story. And the story can't be successful until you are successful. That was the other part to my story, and why I have published now 3 books.
Yeah, why don't you tell us a little bit about, we've got 2 here, Tenacious Angels and Overcome.
So the first one is Overcome, Memoirs of a Suicide. This was the original story I wanted to tell about my son, what happened that day. 6'1", could pitch 80 miles an hour, most popular kid in school. What happened that day that took me to the soul. But again, I couldn't tell my story until I'd reached a point of success. And once I did, I launched this in 2020, COVID hit. So I began my metaphysical journey to understand truly what happens to us when we get in those dark moments. And that became my second book, which I launched last year, Tenacious Angels. Now this one's trippy, man. This one takes you down a metaphysical path, but also taps into your imagination, because the key to eternal life is curiosity about the next 5 minutes. And then in the last 2 years, and I just launched this one, it's here, hold it up. Standing in the Eye of the Storm. This is an ebook right now. This is the true story of how a community of Black women, and it's important to say that, breathed life back into me. And this one I just launched a month ago, because it is community that we need. We can't do this on our own. Yeah. We have to come together.
I'm very excited to read these. And you know, it's interesting, I'm listening to you talk, and I'm thinking about how this probably is such a unique experience, because well, a lot of times when people are buying homes, right, it's, you know, oh, we just need a bigger house, and
yes.
Oh, you know, husband got a new job and we need to relocate. You know, you don't think about the times where you need a new home because of something traumatic that has happened.
And it's not just that, right? I can work, let's say someone's looking to buy a $10 million home. Mm-hmm. Just because you have money doesn't mean you don't have things that are deep within that you need to work through and really discover, why are you picking this foundation? Maybe it needs to be this one because I match the energy. Everything is energy, and energy is everything. It's not just, oh, I want that one. Does that one want you?
Yeah.
Same concept.
Right.
Yeah.
Very different.
So when you take them to a space to look at it and, and kind of talk about this energy work, can you kind of walk me through what that process would be like? Like, how, like, what is that? I don't even know what to expect, I guess.
So there's 2 different processes. Let's say you're listing your house. We will go through from room to room so I can feel each room, and I'll start making notes, and I'll start talking to them, because their energy is everywhere and they're trying to pass that on to someone new. I have to pull all that energy back out. and redress it like you're dressing the house new for someone else. And then when you're bringing a family in, if I'm bringing you, let's say, into this space, how does this space feel to you? Could you have
That's a
a
complicated
studio?
question right
Could
now.
you have a studio here type
Yeah,
of thing, right?
yeah.
But like even right now, I can feel that I wish there was like a fireplace for you,
Yeah.
some warm mugs,
Yeah.
kind of to express more of your nurturing yet fun self, because you know you got a little frangelica in that hot chocolate. And for you, my fun friend, there's an MTV like. So you got to have some sort of screen, or you got to have that electric and the neon, and
Well, for me, I mean, it was like when we were looking at houses, kind of, I think the house found us. It was kind of like we were looking for very much a mid-50s ranch, not completely gutted or anything else but as original as possible. And what we found was this woman who had basically raised her family, and she had apologized that she didn't have any money to ever fix it up. And we're like, well, that's why we want it, because we're going to keep it like this.
right.
To the point where, as we're going through things, it's like she left a bunch of pots. So we called her, and her daughter came by and was so thrilled to see that we weren't drastically changing,
Yes.
knocking down walls.
Yes.
She's like, her mom would really appreciate that.
Yes.
And I'm like, well, we bought this house because of the energy that was here.
Right.
That it was such a great space.
Yes.
To move into, because you'd feel all that love that was already in that house.
Right. And for some people, that's exactly what they need. And you needed that nostalgia. You needed that already set and seeded into that foundation, what it is you wanted for your life. But other people need that completely cleared out. That's the other thing I do. I don't sage, and I push energy of positive light through the house, which automatically pushes out the dark, you know? So exactly, the house will call to you. You just have to make sure you're got the right agent who can help you identify
Right.
that.
And so it took a couple, actually it took us several agents to
Yes.
find one that actually
Yep.
kind of got what we were trying to look for and was willing to just kind of like let us go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
I think it's funny hearing you talk about that, because it's not quite the same thing, but you know, my husband and I, when we travel in Europe, using Airbnb is a little bit different. Like, because a lot of Airbnbs here, you know, they're just totally Airbnb spaces. You can tell nobody has lived there, and you know, it just is what it is. But like when we were in Italy in the Cinque Terre, we stayed at this home that the woman who was Airbnb-ing it was born in that building, and her mother was born in that building, and you know, you had this familial history, and you know, it was just a really cool place to get absorbed in. So I think about experiences like that, you know.
Yes.
Like but when I bought a home, the only time I bought a home, we built it from the ground up, and I thought that was really cool for me, because I'm a sponge, like
Yes.
energetically. So being able to have something that I just sort of created, that felt so clean and good to me, you know. So
Because you are the heart of the home.
yeah.
And it was important for you to, again, seed into the foundation your heart.
Yeah.
Sometimes we'll take crystals and put them before the drywall's up. We'll put it into the, you know, behind the drywall, into the ceiling, into the rafters. We'll draw initials. Everyone is a little different in how they want to mark, but if it's familiar, and that's another thing, if you go into an old building and you're like, wow, I feel like I've been here before, you want to go down that route? Well, you have.
Yeah.
Your soul has.
Yeah.
Your soul has its favorite things.
Yeah.
Your soul knows what it needs.
I love that. Well, Kimberly, how can people find you, either to get your books or to work with you? How do people connect with you?
So the easiest way is KimT360.com. That'll take you to all of my information and everything I do. You can also call me 602-769-1476. And before we go, holidays coming up. I'm 52 years old. I'm in great shape, and one of the reasons why is the supplements I use. This tea, which I brought you each one, make a whole pitcher,
right.
drink 1 glass every single night, and it's going to cleanse you out.
This makes a whole pitcher?
This makes a whole pitcher.
Wow.
Lasts a week.
Okay.
And it's something I've been drinking every single night. It's helped me with menopause, bloat. There's other supplements, but this is the key
Okay.
for me.
All right.
So those are my tips.
Well, Merry Christmas to us with
Yes.
this new tea.
Indeed,
All right.
yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me on. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. We are so thrilled to have Kimberly here. We're going to be taking a quick break, and we'll be right back after this with some things to do, some things to celebrate.
Indeed.
A whole lot of good stuff back here on The Morning Show.
Welcome back on this Thursday morning to the morning show. I'm Marshall Shore.
And I'm Melissa Farley. Thanks for joining us at...
Well, the Arizona... I was like,
I can't wait.
Where are we at? We're at the Arizona Center.
We are home at the Arizona Center, our new studio home, which we love and are so grateful to be here. We are also so grateful to have another guest with us today. We have Chef Derek Upton with us.
Not just any guest. We have
the chef. I know, that's true.
There's so much talent in Phoenix. So there's so much talent in Phoenix. I appreciate you guys for letting me be here.
So, Chef, obviously we know who you are, but for those that may not, tell us about you. What are you all about here?
Well, I'm Chef Derek Upton, I'm 38. I'm originally from Fresno, California. I've been in Arizona about 15 years. I'm a professional private chef. I work with celebrities and pro athletes. Some people might have seen me on Netflix and Food Network. I kind of also work in a niche market of cannabis, providing education and high-end food with the infusion of cannabis. And the education is the most important thing there. But I also do a lot of catering and a lot of meal prep and just a lot of interesting events and immersive culinary experiences. And I just love bringing people together over food and cooking for people and being creative.
I love that. My mind went to like 17 different places to ask you questions.
So how did you get started?
So that's a situation in itself, but I've always believed in cannabis and the medicinal properties of cannabis. I've always believed that there was something more to it than what we were being told, and so that kind of led me down the road of creating edibles for my friends, doing dinner parties that I wasn't supposed to do with cannabis long before it was ever legal. But I think those are the limits we have to push to kind of create new boundaries and new things, right? And so that kind of led me into going, man, when I use cannabis, it's really helping my depression, it's really helping my ADHD, and I feel way better than Ritalin or Adderall ever made me feel. And so that's kind of what led me down, going like, what could this be? What could we elevate this to, no pun intended, right? What could we elevate this to make it more mainstream and less taboo? And so like it just, it was really me just breaking some boundaries and doing dinner parties and getting people to understand that there was education that made sense. And that's really what led me into it. And then, I put a lot of content out, as a lot of you guys might know. And so Instagram, was my jumping off point, and Netflix reached out to me, and it was that's how it kind of became more of a mainstream thing for me, and kind of how I got known as like the cannabis chef for Southwest, and which led to all different types of opportunities for me, which were
I was just going to say,
grateful.
You keep dropping Netflix like super cash. Tell people what happened.
I'm incredibly humble about it, but I'm grateful for it, because it could be taken from me at any moment. And so I'm grateful that I was able to do it. I'm grateful that I was able to reach people through that platform and be able to just do my thing as a chef. And that authenticity, created a movement of people going, man, there could be something more to it. And so, I drop it casually because, again, there's a lot of talent out there, and I'm just the lucky one that was in the right place at the right time. But I'm glad that I was able to do it, and it's changed my life. It's changed other people's lives, and I've got to meet some amazing people and do some amazing things like this.
So I'm curious, this is kind of new for me. We actually had another guest on a couple months ago, Chris Martin with Hempful Farms.
One of my best friends. I love that guy.
Yeah, and cause my dad is in a lot of chronic pain, and so this was the first time that talking with Chris, I was like, oh, there's other things we could be trying for him.
Chris has changed people's lives in a real way.
Right? Yeah.
In a real way that the media does not show, and that's why me and Chris are so close, and I love that dude to death. And he has mentored me as a chef and as a cannabis chef. And a lot of his cultural ideas on helping people aligned with me as a hospitality professional. And so it just made sense. Taking care of people is what I do. Cooking is just an outcome of that, And so cannabis is really changing people's lives, but it has to be accepted in a different way.
Right.
You have to let go of the old ideologies that you're attached to and accept something new that could still be truth, And that's what we're trying to do with cannabis, at least.
That's what I think is so cool, because you guys are kind of pioneers in this industry. I can't imagine how difficult it is to keep having these conversations to try to change the
I think
perception.
that's what it takes, though.
Yeah.
Like everything else we've had to overcome as a human society, we've had to break down those walls, sometimes physically
right.
And metaphorically, right? continuously to get people to understand. It took how many years to get to this point with cannabis,
Right.
right? And so I think that, yeah, we are pioneers. I think someone had to do it. You know, someone had to create another revolutionary tea party, right? We had to do another alcohol, prohibition, right? So I think that's where we're at. We're in that same type of vibe, but modernized, and now we're doing it with a lot more resources and science to back up what we're trying to do, because it's real.
So I'm going to ask a real basic question
Yeah, please
for all
do
the
it.
fellow noobs like me out there. So I've never actually still eaten food that's
Okay.
infused with cannabis. Does it impact the flavor? Like, can you
It does.
taste it?
So what I do, and I look at cannabis much like you're going to pair wine.
Okay.
Right? So there's a lot of flavor profiles and tannins that you're looking at, and terpene profiles. You've smelled terpenes, if you smell rosemary, if you smelled lemon. All of those are linalool and myceline. There we go. They're terpene profiles that give you the scent, but also what they do is they psychoactively affect your brain. And so that's what gives you the up and the down, the indica and the sativa vibes, is all about the protein or the terpene profiles that affect your endocannabinoid system, right? And so we're designed to receive those things within certain limits. And so it does affect it. You can manipulate the flavor as well. And you can also add what I call synthetic terpenes, which are like rosemary, right? And straight lemon, right? Not necessarily cannabis derived. But you can change and create a whole different kind of playground of experiences through multiple courses with food, also pairing it with smokables.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
I also
So-
do mocktails too. So
Okay,
no
'cause I don't
alcohol,
drink.
No, I don't drink
Typically,
either.
yeah.
So but you can do mocktails that will give you the idea of having a cocktail hour, right? But without the alcohol effects. And then there's also science that goes into dosing and making sure that you're getting a certain amount of milligram per adult. And so that's all things that I teach at my dinners and I educate people on, so they understand that I'm not just throwing weed in there and going, hey, have fun,
There's a science to this.
There's a
Yeah.
science.
That's cool. That's really cool. So what are you most excited about next for you?
Honestly, I'm always the one that is trying to push new envelopes, not only for myself, because the only person I'm ever in competition with is myself, right? And so I'm always looking to what's next for me. Like, where can I go to have the most impact? And I believe that what is for me will find me. And that goes with everything in my life, And I lead with love, and that brings me opportunities. And I lead with what I know is right, and that brings me opportunities. So I'm excited for 2025. Right now, I've kind of taken a break on booking a bunch of things. I've had a lot going on this year, and I just needed me time. I needed to take some time and just kind of you know what, Derek?
I applaud that.
I'm approaching 40. And I want to know what is Derek going to do for the next 20 years, 10 years. And so I'm kind of just reflecting on that right now. I've been blessed enough to be able to do that in the last couple months, and so I'm really taking that time. But there's definitely going to be some things in the works. I might be some collaborations that might be happening, some things I can't really name yet. But I definitely have some irons in the fire for sure.
That's great.
But there's always exciting things happening. I'm always trying to lift people up. So be on the lookout. Make sure you're following me.
I love that you're listening to yourself and taking that time.
It took a long time.
Yeah, I think. Well, it's hard when you have this momentum and
Yeah.
you've built this big thing. It's hard to kind of step back and do it, but so
Right.
important.
And I struggle with ADHD, and it's a real thing in my life. And I have adult autism as well. It's something I found out a couple of years ago. And so that has been something that I've been fighting with, but at the same time, trying to figure out, okay, how do I structure my life differently?
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's changed my priorities, and that's changed how I look at things. And so it's been great, but it's been hard. Because
Yeah.
being truthful with yourself like that is one of the hardest things you've ever had to do. At least
Absolutely.
I've ever had to do.
Yeah.
But the best.
Yeah.
Because I am 10 times the man I was, and I'm proud of that. So, taking time for yourself is huge. Reflection is huge, because knowing where you're at allows you to know where you want to go.
Absolutely.
And I believe in that. So.
Well, you're such an inspiration
Oh, I
for so
appreciate
many
that.
reasons.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, and I like what you said about like a wine and pairing and things like that. I mean, I remember it's like my grandfather was like, "Oh, I can't have wine." Oh, and it was like, "Oh, my doctor says I must have wine."
Right,
So he would have his ceremonial like one glass of wine a
Right,
day,
yeah.
and he would let you know his doctor said he had to do this.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, and I think you're battling kind of that history of now with cannabis
Correct.
and things like that. So
You'd be surprised how many medical professionals, like high-level medical professionals I cook for as a private chef in the cannabis space, that believe exactly how I believe, that understand that this is where it's going. And they do it, professionally. They do it, responsibly. But it's starting to become a thing in people because people don't want to get drunk. Let's be real. I don't want to get drunk. I haven't drank in 6 years because I hate the way alcohol makes me feel afterwards. I hate it. I mean, a lot of people are feeling that way.
Yeah.
And so I think it's going to take some time. I think it's going to die out for a little bit because people are used to it.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to be something that really sticks around in personal homes as a way of healing.
Well, we've noticed actually a trend in the events space because I throw a couple big events a year, and alcohol sales have gone way down. Interest
Absolutely.
in people getting alcohol when we provide them, with the vendors there, like it's just changing. So
Yeah, when I helped open up the Clarendon Hotel to cannabis, and we turned the Clarendon Hotel into a cannabis hotel, we had 350, 400 people on the rooftop when we did cannabis events. I know Marshall was a part of a couple of those, and so people are gravitating toward that because at the core of it all, it's just about connecting with other humans in a different way that is peaceful and not crazy and not going to come with drama. And I think people just truly, really want that peace in their lives, and cannabis is a part of that culture. So I think that's why people are seeing it trend.
Well, speaking of connecting with people,
exactly. It's
how do people connect with you? And can regular folks do a dinner with you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Or how
So
does that work?
I'm a professional private chef. I offer awful services. I offer professional services for catering, private chef work in your home, event spaces, meal prep. You can get me at chefderekaz.com or on Instagram at chefderekaz. Message me, email me. I'm always around. I'll always email you back within a short time. But yeah, I mean, I book with normal people. I book with everybody. Everyone is welcome at my table for sure. I like to cook for everybody. So
Indeed. And thank you so much for coming on and
Yeah,
sharing your passion.
I appreciate you so much.
And same thing.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the fun thing of going to some of these dinners and hearing people talk about what this has done with their lives and made them more productive and able to function.
Yeah, absolutely.
And in an environment that's safer than actually say, here's what's going on in
And
our
people
lives.
with real medical issues are getting real relief and having normal functioning lives,
Right.
which is really why I do this.
Yeah.
So.
And can I just say, you are so grounding and making me peaceful.
Thank you.
I've seen you on social media. We've never actually met in
No, we
person, but
haven't.
it just feels lovely sitting next to you. It's
I appreciate that. I
very
really
nice.
work hard on that because I want people to feel comfortable with me, especially when I'm in their home cooking. But just in general, I've just been that guy. I want to lead with love. That's just who I am.
Right.
Because I think that's going to be what is going to take everyone to where they need to be, man. All the pieces are going to fall in place when you do that. So
Well, you can feel it. It
thank
comes
you.
off.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And please, I hope you'll come back.
Please, I would love
and
to.
kind of share some of the things that you're working on, kind of
Yeah.
what's coming up
Marshall
for you.
just really wants food.
Yeah, we.
but-
I would love to cook for y'all. Cook for the whole studio.
Yeah, we
Let's
would
go.
love to have you back. And also, keep in mind, Marshall and I are going to be launching our newsletter. We're going to do a feature for sure on Chef here. So you'll be able to learn more and connect with him directly through the newsletter. So stay tuned for that. We're going to take a quick break and be right back after this for more good stuff on The Morning Show.
Welcome back to The Morning Show, coming to you from the Arizona Center. I'm Marshall Shore.
And I'm Melissa Farley. We have 3 guests for you today.
I know.
Actually,
it's a
more than that.
jam-packed episode.
With a jamboree. We've got a party.
We do
today.
indeed. Well, it's always a party with us.
With us, yeah. I know.
But now there's just more people at our party.
I was just going to say, now it's not just you
other
and
than the
me.
ones that are always up here. But
there's more voices to entertain you other than ours. I am here with Juli. And Juli, you've got a whole group of people to sing with today. But before we get there, tell me a little bit about what VOCA is and what exactly is a song circle?
Oh, which one do you want to start with?
Okay, I have no idea what VOCA is, so let's start with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So VOCA is a program that I developed to help people. Can I cut on that?
You're good. Yeah.
Okay.
You're fine.
It's a program that I developed to help people deepen their relationship with their voices.
Okay.
And right now it's a small group that is women, and we gather for 6 weeks. And what I experienced as a person who grew up singing was that there was a certain way to sing, and if you were good at singing, then you were supposed to do that, and if you weren't good at singing, then you should shut the heck up.
Yeah.
And a lot of people have been stifled in that way. There's a lot of trauma around the voice, and we're trying to destigmatize that experience because so many people have had it.
Yeah.
And so we're trying to take the big expectation out of singing and bring it back to communities.
I was just going to ask, do you have to be a good singer to join your group? Because here's why. I feel like I have such the heart of a musician with no musical talent whatsoever.
Yeah.
I get the God bumps whenever I listen to music, and I really feel it in my soul. But when I open my mouth, it's just So I'm just curious, when somebody like me joins your group, that's not a problem?
We want all people to feel welcome.
I love that.
So I bet there's a time that you feel comfortable singing. When is that? By yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so because you feel comfortable by yourself, you're probably not thinking about what other people think.
Right.
And so this is a way to, one, get to know your voice on your own as an opportunity for devotion.
Okay.
Why are we singing? Yeah. Not so that other people can hear us. We're singing for something bigger. Mm-hmm. And so we develop devotion through toning, and then we build to an experience with other people where we do vocal improv and play, because play is so much an experience of music. We literally play music, but that comes out of it a lot when we start to get into our heads, so we take it back to our hearts.
Yeah.
And what song circles are, so VOCA is an experience with the personal voice, and then it brings you in the end to a place where the people are designing their own songs, having never written a song before in their life. Very simple songs with mantra, so that they can have a practice of medicine mantra that is just for them. If they want to take it out into the community, awesome. Yeah. We have song circles available where you can come and teach songs.
Okay.
And then what is a song circle? It is people coming together in ways that we always have. Humans have been singing together for thousands of years and using their voices for harvest and celebration and grief and joy. And we've lost that.
Yeah.
When do you sing with people? Happy birthday? Once a year? Christmas carols? Maybe in a religion that you don't even belong to anymore, but it's close to your heart. And so we're trying to bring song back into people's lives in a way that says we're for everyone. Your voice is welcome here. You belong.
I love everything about that. That's so powerful. I know.
So, did you bring an example with you of a song circle?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So before you demonstrate for us, I'm going to ask you to share it now. If people want to get involved or learn more from you or about this, let's do that now while you're with this mic, and then we'll have you go show us this wonderful group that you brought. Yeah.
Sweet. So we have Song Circle gatherings pretty regularly. We have one coming up on December 22nd at 6 p.m. at Spirit of Yoga. That's where we hold most of our song circles. But there's a song movement happening where the oral tradition of passing on songs from voice to voice is alive and well in our communities. We're trying to liberate people through the use of their songs and reach to minority populations, reach to people who might feel on the outskirts, people who have been oppressed, and bring it back into this revolutionary way of joining with each other. So December 22nd is the next time that we have it. Solstice Song Circle. It's our big sing. We're celebrating our 8th year. And then you can find me on Instagram, Jul Synergy, Jul Synergy, and then also Seva Song Circle on Facebook, SEVA, like selfless service, because we give a portion of our proceeds to Unsheltered Phoenix, which helps unhoused folks.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Okay. Well, look at that. We've invited you to a fire walk, to a float spa, and now to a song circle. So lots of ways to do some self-care and empowerment here. Okay, so let's take that off. Let's have you jump over there. And we got a little sneak peek, and Marshall and I are so excited for you all to perform again.
Okay. I did want to say real quick that it is family friendly, so
awesome.
People of all ages are welcome. It is different bodied, accessible. Let me throw this microphone at you. And yeah, we welcome everyone. This is a song I wrote that felt like it was really important for all people, and especially me at the time. I love my body because it's mine. I love my body because it is divine. Miracle, miracle, my body is so beautiful. Miracle, miracle, my body is my soul vessel. I love my body because it's mine. I love my body because it is divine. Miracle, miracle, my body is so beautiful. Miracle, miracle, my body is my soul vessel. I love my body because it's mine. I love my body because it is divine. Miracle, miracle, my body is so beautiful. Miracle, miracle, my body is my soul vessel. I love my body because it's mine. I love my body because it is divine. Miracle, miracle, my body is so beautiful. Miracle, miracle, my body is my soul vessel. I love my body because it's mine. I love my body because it is divine.
Woo!
Indeed.
Incredible.
Wow. Thank you for that gift of music.
Oh, thank you so much. Julie, and everybody, that was so powerful and incredible. I wish we could have music like this every day, seriously, on the show. It just changes the whole energy of the space. So thank you so much for being here. What a treat. We are going to be right back after this break. We won't be singing, but we'll carry a song in our heart. Good. Yeah, we'll carry that song in our heart. We'll be right back after this.
And welcome back to the morning show. Wiki. You are coming from
Still in the musical mood?
Exactly. So that's my version of singing.
Wiki.
Exactly. So yeah. Okay. So we're coming to you from the Arizona Center. I'm Marshall Shore.
And I'm Melissa Farley. We're so happy to be back with you. This has been such a fun episode. Yeah. I love it. Chef, music, like all this good stuff. A metaphysical real estate agent.
How your house and you can coalesce.
Yeah. Coalesce. Well, I'm in a celebratory mood, Marshall, given all this fun we've been having.
And you know why? Because it is National Emo Day.
I'm an elder emo.
Indeed. So that's why I knew you'd appreciate it. And so one of the ways that emos define themselves is through music.
Yeah, yes, we do.
And Jimmy Eats World from Mesa. Is one of those big emo bands. Yeah. So you can throw on in the Victrola some of the
not that much of an elder emo. Victrola. No, Jimmy Eats World's a great local band. I as an older emo, I've been obsessed with Fall Out Boy. That's my band. Right. They're actually coming to Innings Fest. I think it's Innings Fest in February. So I'm dragging my poor husband Pat to see them. I think a third time with me. He couldn't care less. He's such a good champ. So
they'll probably have really good earplugs.
Oh yeah, you can bring your noise counseling ones now.
See, exactly.
Now he has to experience the joy with me.
Said full of emotion.
I know.
Exactly.
Okay.
And also, as we get ready for the holidays, it is National Hard Candy Day.
Oh, I just got a lollipop from my producer.
And I love it. It's like when I remember the holidays, going to visit my grandmother with the big bowl of candies that were
butterscotch.
They were the ribbon candy.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
That was probably, who knows how old it really was, but it doesn't really go stale because it was never really fresh.
I don't think it matters.
No, it doesn't. I mean, it was probably vintage when I was eating it, so.
I'm not a huge fan of hard candy, but I do like a good butterscotch every now and again.
I do love a good butterscotch.
Yeah.
Indeed. As well as National Regifting Day.
Do you regift, Marshall? Tell the truth.
I do. I also go shopping in my own house.
You said that, so I do.
Well, because I go shopping in my own house. Sometimes
I do that too.
Yeah.
I know.
So.
Because you know what? I always go to all these spiritual stores and stuff, and I'll get crystals or I'll get decks and different things, and then I'm I don't actually do anything with them, and then I'm oh, this person would really enjoy this.
Exactly. So even though that's not regifting, it kind of is. Because it's kind of
I gifted myself, but now I'm gifting it to
now
you.
It's moving on to someone else's story.
Let's do a poll. Let's do our first morning show poll.
Oh.
Regifting. Bad thing or good thing? Totally normal thing.
Who would say it's a bad thing?
I don't know. Rich people.
No, they just regift better stuff.
They just regift. If you want to regift me a Louis Vuitton, I'm fine with that.
So as we get ready for the holidays, there's all kinds of fun things. And you know what? I hear tomorrow we've got a really amazing show as well.
We do.
Yeah.
We do have a pretty amazing show. Before we even think about tomorrow, though, let's think about some fun things you can do throughout December.
Indeed.
So this is actually something that my husband and I have been doing for the last couple of years. I don't know if you've done this, the Mesa Temple Christmas lights. Have you seen that? I'll take that as a yes.
They're actually better than the Salt Lake City temple.
Yeah, totally. Sorry, our studio is raining stuff on some of our crew here. That distracted me. So if you've never been there, it's the Mesa Temple. They do a huge Christmas lights display and nativity exhibit. It's just really neat, and so it's on display 5 to 10 p.m. every evening through December 30th. So
And literally at 10 o'clock, the switch is flipped.
Yep.
And out it goes. So it's kind of fun being there at that moment.
when the switch flips.
Yeah.
Well, and I think one of our favorite things that we do too is we'll go get empanadas. Because it's right by there. Yeah. So if you love empanadas, go get some empanadas.
Well, because I mean, I used to do holiday lights tours, and that was always the last stop because it's like
it's really
there's
cool.
no better lights in Arizona than the temple.
In regular fashion, Melissa's going to say something that she doesn't actually know how to pronounce, but I do know what this one is, as opposed to a melee or whatever it was yesterday. So on Friday, the Irish Cultural Center does this every third Friday. It's their Sealy dance.
I just had them on Happy Hour a couple months ago.
Yeah.
And so they were talking about this, and come on, stop by.
How did they say it? Sealy?
I have.
That
was months ago. I slept since then, so I don't remember.
It's basically like a family social dance, and there's 6 different dances that you do, and they're fun. It's called like the Walls of the Limerick and the Siege of Ennis and the Waves of Troy. But you don't have to know what you're doing. You can literally show up, and they have people there that will show you what the moves are, and you can just dance in community, kind of like how we did the song circle.
Are you foreshadowing tomorrow's show by talking about dance? Because I've heard a rumor
that we might be dancing a little bit.
That we might be dancing.
It might be happening.
And my 2 left feet, we'll see what happens with 2 left feet and dancing.
I have so much faith in you, Marshall. I believe in you. I think you're going to be great. You're going to be great. This one sounds adorable. Adorable. Are you ready?
I'm kind of scared.
Candy Cane Lane Festival.
Oh, yeah, no, that's a lot of fun.
I've never been. It's so cute. Candy Cane
We should hang out more.
Well, I agree. Seeing you a billion hours a week is just not enough, Marshall. This is in
always
Peoria.
In one little room. We need to get on the road.
Get actually out.
Exactly.
This is West Side. It's a 2-day festival. It's held at the Peoria Sports Complex, and it's going to be packed full of holiday fun. It's pretty cool. They've got 150 plus vendors and food trucks and Santa photos and dinosaurs and bubble play, axe throwing, face painting, you name it, they got it. Cookie decorating. So yeah, that is the 20th and 21st. It's 4 to 10 p.m. and tickets are really cheap. It's $5. Free parking, kids 2 and under are free. So great family event. This one's more for serious. No, it's not. But it just feels like it should be when I say it. The Stradivarius and Golden Age of Violins and Guitars at the MIM.
Aww.
Yeah, so they are presenting more than 70 of the most sought after and sort of impressive string instruments from Stradivarius, basically, and it's the 16th to the 19th century. It is $7 with paid museum admission or $10 special admission, and that is from 9 to 5 p.m. daily. You have some time. It's going to be running into 2025. So you don't have to see
and
it
the other
in
nice thing
December.
is they have a restaurant there, so you can get coffee, so you can
They
really
do.
go spend the entire day there.
Which you did.
I've done multiple
I know.
times.
Yeah,
And it's so easy
that
to
doesn't
do.
surprise me. And then it's turned into a classic, right? Ice skating at Westgate. Have you gone ice skating at Westgate in
So
Glendale?
when I go ice skating, I use the walker.
I love that about you.
So I don't even try to pretend that I'm going to be able to stand on ice skates. So yes.
I should probably do that too. I'm down more than I'm up when I'm ice skating, honestly.
Exactly. So get the walker.
Get the
makes
walk-
Makes
get
it
the
so much
walker.
easier.
Okay.
So
Can that be our next double date? We'll go go and ice
Matching
skate with our
walkers.
walkers. It's $25. You can go ice skate at Westgate. There's also ice skating downtown. There's a bunch of different places actually throughout.
and they all have walkers.
They all have walkers. The important thing, folks, to know. They all have walkers. So lots of fun things to do as we get closer and closer to Christmas and the holidays. Thank you so much for joining us for this episode. We will be dancing in tomorrow's show. So
I didn't say we would be dancing well, because
I was just going to say, if you want to make fun of us,
exactly.
have an opportunity.
So yeah.
I mean, we give you plenty of opportunities, but this will be a really obvious one to make fun of us. Please tune in to the show. We will see you right back here tomorrow for our Friday fun
Indeed.
follies.
That's right. We won't be singing, but we will be dancing.
Yes. There will be
And
dancing.
we will see you tomorrow.